Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Mark, Benjamin. It is an absolute honor getting to talk to both of you. I've watched The Life of Chuck twice now. Absolutely loved it and just weep every time. So
Wow.
thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, now, Mark, I want to start with you. Stephen King is my favorite author of all time. And
Right.
now you've got two adaptations with this and The Long Walk coming out later this year. What draws you to his material?
I should tell you, the book I'm reading right now is Stephen King on Writing. If you haven't read it, get it, because it's all the questions you wanted to ask him about how did you come up with this and what made you think of that, and it's in his own voice, and he's so accessible a writer. But it's like sort of behind the scenes in a way that you've always wanted. I got to sit next to him at the premiere, and I kept saying, don't bother him with a lot of dumb questions. Don't bother him with a lot of dumb questions. Because I wanted to ask him why he didn't like the screen adaptation of The Shining. He at one point, not to me, but in an article, he thought that they should have cast Ryan O'Neal or a real all-American actor so you could see the degradation. He thought Jack was a little wacky from the very first scene. But come on, he's Jack Nicholson, so I didn't see that as a flaw. I guess he's so accessible. I mean, it's comforting to read his writings because it's not like sometimes you have a difficulty adapting to writers from many years ago, whether it's Charles Dickens or even Shakespeare. He's just so writes for the common man, and I think The Life of Chuck is atypical for him, but in many ways not so much when you consider his. And I've only read, I think he's written 60 books. I might have read between 37, 38 in that area, so I have a ways to go. But it's thrilling to see him. First of all, when I read it, I thought, how are they going to make a movie out of this? Is this filmable? Because I ordered his book the minute Mike mentioned that he wanted me to do it, and then I read Mike's script, and again, he did an incredible job. I mean, he got a phone call from Stephen King, and that's rare. Francis Lawrence changed the ending of The Long Walk. What? What? Say it out loud.
Do not talk about the ending of The Long Walk.
Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. But my point is, he's very hands-on. He called Francis Lawrence and said, I love the changes. So that's rare. But he's just a really personable, easy to talk to person. I wish I had had dinner with him rather than sitting next to him during a movie, because I minded my boundaries and didn't bother him. But I was shocked when I came to sit down. He goes, "The Major," which is the part I'm playing in. How did this guy even know I'm in it?
He knows everything.
Yes. Turns out he has actor approval, director approval, script approval, all of it. After some early unpleasant episodes, he's able to demand that, and of course he deserves it.
Oh my God, this has been amazing. I'm getting the wrap. Benjamin, you are phenomenal in this.
Thank you.
And it's so beautiful to watch this whole story with you and Mark and Mia. And Mark, I want to end with this too. My daughter's birthday is May the 4th.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Star Wars is very special to my family. So thank you.
Well, May the 4th be with her.
Yes, thank you. She's 3. I'm going to do this when she gets home. So thank you. I
What
appreciate
movie
it.
gets a day? I still don't get it. I'll never
amazing.
make another movie that gets its own day. I've resigned myself to that.
Hey, it's a pretty good one to have its own day.
Yeah.
So thank you. I appreciate it. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Chiwetel, Karen, it is really great talking to both of you. I loved this movie so much. It just is so inspirational and moving and touching. It made me cry. Thank you for the time today.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Chiwetel, you get to join this kind of elite company of actors that Mike Flanagan frequently likes to work with. Now, what makes him the great writer and director that he is?
Well, I think that this adaptation is beautiful. You know, it's a pitch perfect adaptation when you read the short story and the Stephen King kind of tonality in a story like this, which is there's a lightness to it. There's obviously it's apocalyptic, but there's this kind of life affirming, philosophical, questioning nature to it. And to try and figure out, I think, for any individual, how to translate that into a screenplay is quite complicated. I think quite difficult to try and faithfully do that. And then to transfer that onto film as a director, I think is pretty genius. And so I think that he kind of has a way of creating a sort of environment for his films that allow a kind of certain kind of magic to happen. That really lends itself to that sort of the Stephen King magic. So I think that's why I kind of really appreciated and loved being part of it.
Yeah, I have the book right here. He's my favorite author of all time, and Mike is so good at translating his stuff to the big screen. Now, Karen, you worked with Mike back in 2013, which is a long time ago now. How has he evolved as a filmmaker and storyteller?
I mean, he was brilliant right off the bat. I mean, he's the whole reason I moved to America. He brought me over for Oculus. I was so excited because I was like, an American horror film. I get to walk down a corridor and look scared. I was so excited because I grew up watching those. And also, he gave me the biggest challenge of my career, which was, I want to say, like a 15-page non-stop monologue about the history of a mirror. So that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But he trusted me with that, and I appreciate that. And he's always just created such a lovely atmosphere for actors to kind of feel safe and try stuff and take risks, which I appreciate. And he's the same. Like, his stuff has obviously evolved when you watch it, but the experience of working with him is the same. He's still so down to earth. He's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with one of the biggest hearts.
I love hearing all of that. That is just so special. I think that I love your scenes together in this. They're like haunting and beautiful, and it really asks you, I think, to stay present in life, no matter how hard it gets. How do you both continue to stay present and optimistic when life moves really fast and you may be down about certain things that are going on in life? Chiwetel, why don't you start that?
Well, yeah, I think it is about this, it's trying to stay kind of grounded. Like, life does move very quickly, and, I think it's the connection with, obviously with family is really important, but I feel like that kind of to find the joy in the simple things, and to try to find the gratitude, in life, and with the sort of gift of the day to day, the gift of the mundane, even, the million of things that we can be grateful for in any given moment is quite staggering. And trying to keep that in mind is, one is, as it's sort of, you're successful in spurts about it, but it's like, but that is where I find the most kind of joy, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting the wrap. Oh no, yeah. I wish I could keep talking to both of you. I love this movie so much, and I hope that people enjoy it as well. And I think it will really move audiences so much. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis. Kate, it is so good seeing you again. I loved The Life of Chuck and wept, and it is just another stunning thing that you and Mike did. So cheers to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love your collection behind you. I'm in safe hands. There's Carrie.
Yes.
Hello, Carrie.
Yes. Oh my God. Now, you play Charles Krantz's teacher in this, and you just have one of those beautiful Mike Flanagan monologues that we all know and love. Did you have a teacher growing up that left a lasting impression on you?
I was handed from class to class a series of fantastic teachers. I have a hard time picking one. I know that when I was in way at the end of that list, Craig McDonald, who was an acting teacher of mine, he was the one who kind of helped shepherd me from what I consider academic acting into living as another person for a short period of time. And he had a certain tenderness to him and a certain sense of humor that for me, I'll never forget it. It was so encouraging.
I love that. I love hearing about I went to acting school, I have a BFA in music theater, and it's just I love hearing about acting teachers and how they touch different actors and their different approaches.
Yeah, it can be so hard. It's such a personal thing to teach that they have a lot of responsibility to be tender with people's souls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. One of the things I love about this story is that we are all multitudes. And I think so many of us think of Mike as this brilliant filmmaker and storyteller, but is there a side of Mike that you wish the audience knew about?
Well, I think after this movie, the audience is going to know a lot about who Mike is at the core of him. I think it's going to make you reconsider all the other stuff. Like when you know that Mike Flanagan made Life of Chuck and you go back to watch anything else, it's going to change how you view it. Because both Mike and Stephen King have this in common, which is that they have these huge bleeding hearts at the center of extreme circumstances. They are tender humanists, again, with this word tender, because that's how I feel about this movie and this experience. It's a gentleness we're trying to put out into the world that is a world that is currently trying to destroy gentleness. And
Oh,
so it's a brave act that Mike has done here to put his own heart out into the world. And the way that the world has responded so far gives me just a little hope for what we can achieve.
if we can have just a little bit of hope, I think is in any given day is so good. And Stephen is my favorite author. So like everything you just said, I just think about all of my favorite Stephen King stories and what they do and how Mike has translated that onto screen is so beautiful. And I cannot wait for Carrie. Speaking of Carrie, your this movie also has your son in it, which is so precious. What is it like watching him on set doing what you and Mike
Oh,
love to do?
oh my gosh. So there's a part in this movie where it ends act two and it says, that's why God made the world, just that. And then it hits a silent moment and then you hear a giggle. And for me, I weep because as a mother, I have this incredible gift that the life of Chuck has given me, which is that Cody will always be 6.
Mhm.
He'll be on screen and he'll always be 6 and he'll always be safe and he'll always be happy right there in this movie. And so few parents have that. You have home videos and things like that, but I see it and I see the way he affects other people. And I see like you can see in this journey how he can grow and change and who he will be. And that's really what this movie is about. But the man was as professional as anyone has ever been on set. Cody Flanagan was more comfortable on set than I have been in 20 years of professional acting. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? Dad, I think I need more lines. What's up, Mark Hamill? Mia Sarah, high five. And I had come and I was ready with like all these, Miss Richards type moments to be like, hey, Cody, you just need to be yourself. Just breathe, just be there. Didn't need me at all. Was just off to the races.
Kids are so fearless, and I love that about that. My daughter's only 3, but I just see that in her. And like I took a video of her this morning. I'm just like holding that so close to me. I'm getting the wrap. Kate, it is always a
Oh,
blessing
I have so
talking to
much
you.
more to
I
say to
wish
you next time. Great to
next
talk to
time
you.
for Carrie. Yep.
Yeah. Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Thank you
Bye.
too. Bye. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Matthew. Absolute honor getting to talk to you today. I loved the life of Chuck. It just makes me weep. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you for loving it. That makes me super happy. It's our first sort of connection to people who have seen the film, for me at least. I'm sure Mike has, but it's
Yeah.
lovely to hear that you liked it. Thank you.
It's Stephen King is my favorite author, and I love Mike Flanagan's work. So this just hits me all in the feels. Yeah. Now in your scene, you really moved me to tears, and you also made me laugh. Like there's this really delicate balance there, and I'm curious, how did you collaborate with Mike on what the tone of that was going to be like?
To be candid, my job is to give him a bunch of options on the day, and he takes what he wants. That's the reality. I always feel like, if you're a painter, you want all the colors, and my job is to each take match action, match and intention. But the reality is to give different shapes and sizes. And so, it was a rehearsal. We found a beat that we liked, and we sort of circled that, and we just attacked that sort of version of it.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's so great. And that he's such a collaborative director is great too. Now you've worked with Mike and of course Wes Craven and David Lynch, all these kind of masters of their craft and of this genre. Is there something that they all have in common in terms of vision or storytelling?
Oh, good question. I think that the reality is that the great directors are open and available to you bringing your special gifts, right? So they're allowing the DP to take their vision and expand it. They're allowing the sound mix to come in and giving their basic idea, then having the sound mix improve that. Same thing with an actor. Like you can, I don't know if Mike necessarily knew what I was going to bring on that day. but he was available to where it went and how it ended up. So I think that that's their capacity for like collaborative efforts.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Now, I think that this movie really asks the audience to just be present and try to, I think, be optimistic. I'm curious, how do you stay present, stay optimistic when I think life moves very fast and there are times where you get down and what may be happening in our country right now?
Yeah. Oh, geez. I mean, you threw in that last line. It changes everything. Yeah, I think that you have to expand. I always say to my kids, you have to go to 10,000 feet. You have to expand. You have to look past the moment now and just consider yourself to be on a longer journey. I always use this analogy with actors that, we are antelopes traveling the Serengeti, trying to get to the other side of this massive expanse of time and space to die with the other antelopes, right? And so our job is to continue the journey, see further than this moment that we're in now, and know that these trials and tribulations will just make the world a better place at the end of them.
Ooh, that's good.
For sure.
I'm curious, how do you feel like you've changed since working on this film? Because I think that it will truly have a good effect on its audience. So how have you, the actor, changed?
I think that for me, one of the great things that's come out of this moment is that, Mike and I are working together on Carrie. I see Carrie right behind your shoulder. So I've sort of joined that Flanafam. And so for me, there's something really special about being an actor and in this career as long as I have been and being identified by a guy who I love. I think Mike Flanagan is one of the best dudes in the world, let alone in Hollywood. And having a place in somebody's sort of team of players to me is like so it just fills me up with this confidence and like it's like I don't know, it's like the island of lost toys and you finally feel seen for the first time. And so for me there's this overwhelming sense of gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
I
part.
love that he works with this company of actors. I'm getting the wrap, but I want to end on this. I'm a massive Scream fan. Like, I've been to the filming locations. I've been to...
I love that you're holding those below camera. That's
Yeah, well, yeah, they've been on me. So I cannot wait for Scream 7. I'm so excited to see what you and Kevin and Nev have to do with this, and it's going to be a real treat. So thank you for this.
Oh, yeah, thank you for your time, Paul. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Matthew.
We're excited about Scream 7 as well, so thank you.
Yeah, good. Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. Take care. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C. Minneapolis Mia, it is really great talking to you today. I've seen The Life of Chuck twice now. Sobbed both times. Loved it so much. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it. And you're so good in it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, now it's been a while since we've seen you on screen. I love seeing you back on screen. So I'm curious, when did you know that this was something that you had to be a part of?
When Mike asked me, because it really is all about Mike. It's Mike Flanagan. I'm such a fan of Mike, and he is a friend. And he said, "Come on, why don't you work anymore?" And I said, "Oh." And he said, "What if I offered you something?" And then he did.
I love that. I love Mike Flanagan so much, and I love his work, and he's such a genius storyteller across so many different shows. We could go on and on. I love that you're playing the grandma to Chuck in this, and there's this beautiful scene where you're teaching him how to dance in the kitchen. I think it's so magical and special, and I have so many fond memories of when I was a kid and my grandma taking me to the movies all the time. And I'm curious, is there a memory or a lesson that you learned from your grandparents that you still hold close today?
I'm an Italian American person, so I did a lot of hanging out with my grandma in the kitchen. So a lot of like stirring those pots. That I've done a lot of, and I love to cook. I cook for my family every week. So yes, I absolutely relate, and I dance with my kids in my kitchen all the time.
I love that so much. Now, you are joining this kind of elite company of actors that Mike Flanagan frequently likes to work with. What makes him the great writer and director that he is?
I think he's really interested in people. He's really interested in people. He's a great asker of questions, and he's a great storyteller just as a person. Just when you're hanging out with him, he's just a really good storyteller. And, he tells great stories about growing up, and anyway, he's just he's just cool. I mean, is that like, I don't think he's just a cool person.
No,
I'm
that
incredibly fond of him. So
I mean, so many of us are that have kind of watched his work and feel so touched by his stories. And Kate is just so like incredible in every possible
Kate,
way.
there's nothing she can't do.
Oh,
She's
God.
amazing.
I love,
Amazing.
love that. I love that this movie is asking people, I think, to be present to what's going on in the moment. So, how do you continue to stay present and optimistic when maybe life moves too fast or you feel down about what might be going on in this world?
I don't know. Practice, because we can't always, we live our lives and we get frustrated and we have bad days and whatever. But I hope from this movie that people will think like, okay, well, I do have a choice. And even if it's just once in a while, if I realize that every person is carrying around all of this stuff and every little interaction we have with a person, that it affects us and we affect them. And we have a choice in that moment.
I love that. It's so true. It's so true. We always have a choice. I'm going to end by saying this. I distinctly remember seeing this for the very first time when a friend rented it from Blockbuster. And it's one of those that if it's on cable, I have to stop and watch. And we quote it quite a bit in our house. So thank you for this as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the time today. Thank you. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis. Annalise, it is really great talking today. I loved The Life of Chuck so much. I've seen it twice, cried both times. It just hit your soul. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching it, and hearing that you had that response to it makes me smile. I love to hear people that this movie makes people cry.
Oh my God, yes. And I don't cry easily, but like it sneaks up on you and hits you. And for me, like even from the beginning, I was like, this is for me. So thank you. Yeah. Now, did you have a dance? I'm assuming, but I want to ask, did you have a dance background going into this film? And what do you love about that medium of storytelling?
Yes, I did. Dance was my first passion. Before acting, I wanted to be a dancer. And so I have been dancing for most of my life. And what I love so much about it is it's such a pure form of expression. And I love words. I love them. But sometimes you just have to move. And I don't know, especially with this piece, I think joy, there's no purer expression of joy than through dance. And there's a freedom in it and a liberation in it that when you're just moving with joy, through joy, it's intoxicating to be a part of, but also fun to watch. Sometimes it makes you cry.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and just like seeing her wanting to dance or like learn the choreography to Pink Pony Club is just like really funny to watch and just so joyous. And like having a dance party in the kitchen is so great. Oh my God, I'm losing track of time. This scene is so integral to Charles Krantz's life. And I'm curious, did you have discussions with Mike Flanagan and Mandy Moore about the role that it plays and how it was shaped by the scenes with Charles Krantz as a kid?
I didn't have explicit discussions with them about, because it's all there on the page. And this is what I love about Mike, is I had very little questions going into this, and I could trust him. I could trust Mandy, and I just let everything hit me. And there was I didn't have a lot of questions.
I love that because then it's there and they are also allowing you to bring your own self to it and be open, that it wasn't so rigid of like, this is what it needs to be, yada, yada. I love that this movie asks, I think, the audience to be present and to be open to what's going on around us. How do you continue to just stay present and optimistic when life may seem very fast or very down about what might be happening in this country?
I continue, it's a daily practice. I nurture truth and peace and justice and love in my own life. And that's all one can do, I think, because you can't control the world. You can't control what's going on.
You kind of just have to start with the granular, your own life, and then kind of work your way outside of that. I love that his grandma teaches him about dance in that kitchen. I have so many fond memories of my grandma taking me to the movies as a kid and all those cherished times I still have with her. You know, is there a memory or a lesson that you learned from your grandparents that you still hold today?
So beautiful. My grandma on my dad's side, she like went to clown school, and she would do these vignettes at Christmas time with like puppets and things. And she was so silly and there's a fearlessness in silliness and goofiness and being vulnerable. And I think honestly, through watching her from when I was little, I learned the art of being fearless through her.
That is amazing. And I got the rap, and that is the perfect way to end this. Annalise, thank you for the time today. And I hope everyone loves The Life of Chuck just as much as I did. So thank you.
Me too.
Thank you.